Hello everyone, I'm Antonella Saladini, a first-year student at ASU, majoring in painting and drawing. The inspiration for this project comes from a TED Talk by Sandrine Ture. In her talk, Ture addresses the question of how you can grow new brain cells. Ture leads the adult Neurogenesis and mental health laboratory at King's College in London. She has published several articles on neurogenesis, which is the generation of new brain cells. As such, she is a recognized scientist in this domain. But I also appreciate her TED Talk because she explains complex concepts in simple terms. Ture inspired me to address the question of how we can stimulate the growth of new brain cells. We all want to get better, and in particular, we all want to be more knowledgeable and get smarter. Common knowledge is that brain cells do not regenerate. I heard in the past that our brain capacity peaks sometimes in our young adult years, and from there it declines. For me, this idea is frustrating, and now it is proven to be wrong. There are measures and behavior we can take not only to reduce or even eliminate our cognitive decline, but also to boost our intellectual capacity. Isn't that fascinating? The science behind these measures and behaviors is called neurogenesis. Neurogenesis shows what behaviors and external factors activate or inhibit the growth of brain cells. I will share with you in the next few minutes a summary of scientifically robust evidence showing a correlation between certain measures and brain cell growth. The question of why this is an important theme hopefully doesn't require much debate. Regenerating brain cells equates to promoting our intellectual capacity. That alone should be enough motivation. On top of this, however, researchers have found an inverse correlation between neurogenesis and both depression and Alzheimer's. In other words, these conditions show us that when something is wrong in our brain, we stop producing brain cells. Ture provides specific evidence for these inverse correlations in her speech. This creates even more motivation to identify measures promoting neurogenesis. In particular, Ture presents evidence suggesting that simple preventive measures that promote neurogenesis, such as certain food, cognitive exercise, and physical activity, may help to prevent depression, other mental health issues, and even debilitating diseases such as Alzheimer's. Ture is not the only recognized scientist pointing in this direction. Hong and other scientists published a research paper summarizing results obtained from medical studies. Activating neurogenesis mitigates the effects of Alzheimer's because it may help to compensate for the loss of neurons caused by this disease. For example, a Mediterranean diet and specifically antioxidants promote not only general health and longer life, but also slow down the aging of our brain, reducing the incidence of Alzheimer's and other cognitive diseases. Let me cite from Dr. Hong's work. Mediterranean diets, including plant-based foods, are known to reduce the incidence of Alzheimer's disease and the risk of cognitive decline. It also been suggested that the improvement in cognitive function related to aging may be due to the antioxidants and vitamins present in the diet. Hong. So, we understand that neurogenesis is important. Now the real question is, what we can do to stimulate neurogenesis? Is there any simple checklist? In fact, there is one. The first item on the list is staying mentally active, which is a positive factor for neurogenesis. The title of a News RX Health and Science article summarizes this thesis. Experience leads to the growth of new brain cells. News RX Health and Science. Research conducted with animal models shows that social isolation inhibits the growth of brain cells. Monteiro and other researchers managed to quantify the impact of social isolation of neurogenesis. Not surprising, as many animals, including but not limited to us humans, are social animals thriving in an environment where we interact with others. We need these social interactions. Our brain needs them. Going down this line, I found some results of medical studies showing that stimulating environments improve neurogenesis, even with subjects experiencing social isolation. Social isolation was known to be a debilitating factor for neurogenesis. However, experiments show that a stimulating environment not only counters this factor, but provides a strong positive impulse. Here, scientists such as Monteiro used animal models to prove their point. For example, such a stimulation can be triggered by the sense of smell. I'm citing. We also showed that an odor-enriched environment rescued the social long-term memory of SI, social isolation mice, Monteiro. This is a very interesting finding, as it points not only to the importance of a healthy social environment, but even more so, it makes the case for staying intellectually active. Never stop learning, never stop challenging your brain. If you don't use it, you lose it. My next finding. An active lifestyle promotes brain cell growth. Again, this shouldn't come as a surprise. Even the ancient Romans had a saying, in Latin, mens sana in corpore sano. For those of you who don't speak fluent Latin, a healthy mind resides in a healthy body. Our brain is part of our body. We need to take care of our body if we want to promote our intellectual capabilities. Physical and cognitive activities are now integrated in the development of new drugs, showing the therapeutic potential of environmentics drugs, which mimic or enhance the therapeutic effects of cognitive activity and physical exercise for both neuroprotection and brain repair. ANAN. This means that the more we use our brains and our body together, with the help of these new drugs, the stronger our brains will stay over time. Research confirms that both physical activity and intellectual training have beneficial effects on our brain. However, the research goes on one step further, showing that the combination of these two factors is more than the sum of the parts. Treadmill exercise transiently expanded the pool of newborn hippocampal cells while improving spatial learning in the Morris water maze. By adding subsequent working memory training, survival of dentate granular cells generated de novo during exercise was significantly increased over control and single intervened conditions. Avila Gamis. In other words, the research proves that exercise increases the creation of new brain cells. The next driver of neurogenesis, dietary choices, can either promote or inhibit brain cell growth. Again, the saying, "you are what you eat," points to a truth that is now being proven through scientific studies. Intermittent fasting helps to improve health and well-being. For example, it extends lifespan and reduces the incidence of age-related diseases. Beyond these general health benefits, medical studies based on animal models have shown that intermittent fasting promotes brain cell growth. Intermittent fasting increases markers for neurogenesis in the adult hippocampus. Dietary habits can drive health. Beyond this obvious finding, however, studies show that specific dietary habits can improve cognitive processes. Food helping neurogenesis include, for example, omega-3 fatty acids, blueberries, and caffeine. On the other hand, we should avoid sugar, high saturated fats, and make sure that we get enough vitamin A and vitamin E. Beyond these factors, some nutrients associated with neurogenesis are rather surprising. For example, tomatoes and lemons, types of food that we do not generally associate with mental health, promote brain cell growth. Hong, for example, cite them as positive driver of neurogenesis. Finally, beyond promoting positive factors, it is helpful to avoid inhibitors of neurogenesis. What are such inhibitors? Sleep deprivation is one of them. Chronic sleep restriction is shown to be correlated with neurodevelopmental disorders, YAO. Beyond that, other negative factors include aging, obviously difficult to avoid, an unhealthy diet, stress, issues with the immune system, and a disrupted microbiome. In summary, we address the question of how we can stimulate the growth of new brain cells. Staying mentally active promotes neurogenesis. In addition, a strong social network, a stimulating environment, an active lifestyle, sound dietary choices, including intermittent fasting, were also shown to promote neurogenesis. Finally, we identified inhibitors to be avoided, including in particular sleep deprivation and stress. Let me finish by expressing my gratitude to Professor Ike for inspiring and guiding me in this project. And I also want to thank my group members, Abdulaziz, Nuan, and Aryan, for their support. I hope that summarizing and making these findings widely available may lead to a higher societal IQ and promote general well-being and mental health in an unobstructive, simple way. Thanks for listening.